Three, two, one. Hello, listeners. Today we have Sonia and Jaspaul from Grinta. I am just gonna jump right in and have them tell us the story about Grinta because, as you know, this is the third time Sonia's on our podcast, but we would love her and Jaspaul to share a lot about this new development and brand called Grinta.
Okay, maybe I'll start with that. So I would say, honestly, it started on the sidelines. So as you know, our day jobs are very busy. We're both working full time still. I work at CHFA still as a VP. Love the job. And, Jazz works in government. He works in IT. But the second we stop working our day jobs, we're really full-time parents and we have very active kids. So we have 4 kids in multiple sports, different sports. And what we found was that watching them on the sidelines, especially during tournaments or multiple games, etc., going back to back, we felt that, we noticed that they'd start kind of folding their calves, the cramping would start, and we just realized, how important hydration is in the equation of kind of this youth sport and, feeling and performing at your best in a sense. And so a lot of the time we were kind of trying to find products that we could use safely with our children. There's been a lot of, media attention and different things talking about sports drinks. What should you give your kids? What do you not give your kids? And so we really just started digging in wholeheartedly. I would say like any other entrepreneur, you're really just kind of looking to fill a gap. Usually you find something that, you've noticed something, you've noticed a gap somewhere, and you really try to find a way to fill that gap. So given I work at, CHFA and have so many great contacts in the industry and just knowing, having regulated these products and also now work in the industry, knowing, what to ask, who to look for, and how to fill this gap. So that's really where it started. It was really watching our kids on the sidelines and really noticing that, what we were giving wasn't enough, or what we did give, we weren't always comfortable with, and, wanted something made for them from the conception, basically.
Amazing. Amazing. Could you share a little bit about the name, the Grinta, what that means and what that spark was for you?
Yeah, Grinta means grit in Italian. And and so that's exactly what it takes to, be an entrepreneur in this new business, as well as the kids who are out there and the parents who are working really hard behind the scenes to support these children in this high pressure environment where you're expected to play multiple hours of sport, and especially in the competitive side of things where when there's a lot at stake. You're on tournaments, you're on show, you're on display out in Montreal, Toronto, et cetera, and you're just out there trying to showcase your talent. And we thought we were solving one of the missing pieces to the equation when we're getting there and we're trying to get set up and we're on travel. How do you support your kids? How are they supported on the field? And so with that thought came this idea of Grinta. And it really is a grind, and we've been super excited about it ever since.
Oh my gosh, what a journey! What thinking about like when I saw the post first, I think it was on LinkedIn, and I saw Sonia with the product in the city outside, and I'm like, wow, what a great idea. I think about I have friends in my circle, we all do, where they have children and they're playing sports and it's serious because that obviously could lead to opportunities for scholarships, you name it, and just overall performance. What has that journey been like? I guess also engaging perhaps like, do you get the buy-in from children, tasting the products? Do you talk to the parents? Like, what does that look like in terms of consumer approval?
So it's been a lot of fun. So I would say, it's such an iterative process like any other brand. You obviously have to go through a lot of motions and like, you start with, your branding or your ingredients, et cetera. But what we really, really, really wanted to start with was at the base, we knew that we wanted to create something for them, but also by them. So we had our soccer teams be the test group. So we had originally worked with a formulator and had about 5 different flavors, and 3 of them stood out as winners where, the majority of kids like really liked it, at least, the vast majority. And 2 of them, we did not make the cut, unfortunately. So it was really based on kids' feedback. We really wanted this to be for kids. And so if it didn't taste good or wasn't something that was functional for them, it wasn't a go. So I think that was just number one, was really like, if they don't like this, we're not going to be able to sell it. And so that was kind of fundamental from the start. So we had the kids try it and they picked the ones that they liked best.
Yeah.
Could you tell right away when they didn't like it? Did they make a face?
Kinda, like, it's still electrolytes, so it's hard to get right?
Yeah.
It's salty. You're balancing like tartness. Yeah. You need tartness to balance the salt. I would say like it's been a bit surprising because we've been guerrilla warfare on the ground every weekend at different tournaments, different sports. And it's funny because with something that is kind of tart and kind of salty, like their faces will tell you if they like it or not. But the odd person, like I'm like, they didn't like it. And then they're like, I love this one. And so like, I think just because of the like effect it has on your mouth, because when you taste it and then it's not the same all the way through, right? Like it's an interesting taste profile. And I'm excited because I know that we've shipped you some and I'll be so excited to hear your feedback. Yeah. But yeah, like the kids have been giving a lot of great feedback. Like I think we nailed the flavors, like just through the kids tasting it. Nice. And we're just continuing to see feedback, where people are like, we want to see a sour orange or like a sweet and sour one. So like, we're like, can we just start with 3? But, kids are kids and they're like, we want this, we want that. And so it's been really exciting. Like it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, lots of ideas. So you mentioned starting with 5 flavors and then narrowing down to 3 because the consumers are telling you what they're looking for. Yes. So what flavors did you land on for your top 3?
So we have a peach mango. Okay. And we have this one I have in front of me is strawberry splash. Mm-hmm. And we have a blue raspberry. So that's the lineup that made the cut. Unfortunately, cotton candy and fruit punch were not on the list. They got dropped. Okay. I was surprised. I thought cotton candy would be, a favorite, but it was a bit too sweet. Okay. So I thought, people that loved it, but it wasn't unanimous. And I think that really kind of pushed us away from that flavor on this.
You talked about sweetness. What is the sweetener or your your matrix of sweeteners that you're using?
And it is a bit of a matrix. We did 10 grams cane sugar. So we did want the carb element of it because obviously with real sugar there being a carbohydrate element to it, that was something we were looking for. So we did 10 grams. But because we actually did not want to trigger the front of pack warning, you'll see that we don't have the front of pack high in sugars or high in sodium. It doesn't actually qualify for that. That was on purpose. We didn't want to scare people away, as sugar is a very complicated topic when it comes to sports and obviously nutrition. And so we used a tiny bit of stevia to complement the sugar profile just to be sweet enough without affecting the calories and the carbohydrates and sugars content, basically.
Fantastic. Well, what a wise way of looking at it, especially thinking about the carbohydrates and then the flavor profile.
Yes.
And then also not having the front of pack as well, so that it can be, especially if parents are buying these products for their kids, likely they're mindful of it as well.
It was about
which is really really smart when it comes to product design. Thinking about like how you're engaging consumers, are you starting off regionally and growing? Would love to hear about your plans on that front if you're able to share.
On the boots,
okay.
Like on the ground. Yeah, so it's on the ground there. We've been at several tournaments. We're at Kingston Athletico. We were at Provincials for Ultimate Frisbee. We were at a volleyball tournament last weekend. We're at a barbecue for a soccer club as well. So in person, sampling of the products, the flavors, as well as ability to buy on site has definitely been our best tactic. And there's some level of education that comes with it. Some level of growing with us, right? Like we're brand net new from the Instagram perspective, online socials as well. And so people actually feel excited when they come to the booth and they're finding out that we're just starting off. These are brand new flavors for them. You're building with us because if you tell us these flavors don't make the cut, they may never come back again, right? And so we're just kind of like, we're really building with people on site. And I think that part of being that building is something that's exciting the kids as well as the parents.
Yeah.
And so local to Ottawa and Kingston so far.
Amazing. And you mentioned online, potential online. Are you doing like Instagram? You mentioned Instagram. So we'd love to hear about that a little bit more for listeners.
Yeah. So you want to go for that? Yeah.
I mean, like he said, we're really kind of hyper focused on local right now because obviously we can connect with people, but we are on Instagram, grinta.ca. And we do have a website. People can order on the website across Canada. It's grinta.ca. We just have focused kind of the actual advertising and the meta ads, et cetera, have been local just to be able to kind of reinforce what we're doing. So you see us, on the ground, you see us online, and then we become more familiar so that people, this is about selling a product to kids. It's in a complicated category. Sports drinks has always been a little bit of a touchy subject with parents. And so we really need to be out there educating and explaining to people, what the ingredients are and what makes this, safe and clean and, something they can trust. Because I know as a parent of 4 kids would not necessarily buy a sports drink from a stranger that's brand new, just entered the market. Like we recognize that. And so we're taking our time to go out there, meet people, educate them in person, just as much as we are online. I think even more in person right now than online. We need to, do a better job of really getting out there to tell our story more profoundly. It's just social media is little clips, you can't just go out there and explain full-heartedly because you lose people very quickly, right? So we're doing our best to kind of just build the narrative.
Exciting.
Love that. Lots of learnings. Well, Sonia, someone who's been involved in this, natural organic wellness industry, from a founder's perspective, what has been sort of the big learnings that's different from, working in the industry to now being a founder of a brand?
Oh my gosh. Like just such a profound, I would say, admiration for founders. Like it is a roller coaster. I knew that from a lot of the stories that I had heard from different founders, and they've, really incited a lot of passion within both of us to do what we think is right for our business, for our community. But I would say, working with those founders, like I work on regulatory affairs. So I deal with just one strong element of what they do. And although we are at CHFA, I learn about their business, et cetera, but to actually be in it where your own capital is being invested, where, you're not hearing back or where you think, things are going to be rocky ahead, like all those feelings and those emotions are so real. And so actually living them, side by side with everyone we've been fighting for so long just makes it that much more real and just makes it obviously, it just shows us how much a small business pours in terms of like their passion, their time, their energy, that it's just so much. And so it's just like, I can't describe the feeling I have and the respect I have for founders that put themselves out there and just get past, so many blockades, right? Like it's a journey of like ups and downs and working through problems constantly. So it's incredible.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And, it's the founder's journey and navigating it and the highs and lows and everything in between, but also leveraging your backgrounds. And, Sonia, we know that you're deeply on the regulatory side and now obviously building a brand. Jaspaul, like, what's your background and what has been your story into this space?
Well, I'm an executive of the federal government.
Okay.
And so like service delivery, project management, et cetera. So I'm good from an operations perspective and logistics and like, and that angle of things. And so my background's in IT.
Okay.
But I grew up around sports. It kept me sane as a youth and then still to this day, I'm still playing the sports actively. And so having these 4 kids and being on the sidelines and watching it's just incredible. Like the life journey that happens beside them and like almost like the lessons learned of like growing up as a kid, I don't even remember anybody having a water bottle beside them when we're playing sports. So now where we have these like hydration drinks designed specifically for you for this moment.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that amazing, right? And so I think just the amount of information that's available now and what we've kind of created for those moments, knowing the type of pressure some of these youth are having in the sport of like just the fatigue that comes along with it and the expectations that they have on themselves, et cetera, just like to perform. having something to replenish them, right? Which is something that we felt made sense. And I got, rock star of a co-founder and wife at the same time. And so this is definitely like a family's journey. So between the executive background, the combo that we are and the kids that we have, it just all made sense for us.
Oh, gosh.
I love it. Well, speaking of your 4 kids, how have your 4 kids been responding to this business, and have they been, wanting to be part of it as well?
It's like they come in, so they've been with us at all the tournaments.
Okay.
Love it.
So they've been on site and learning. Right now, a little bit more in the back of the, back scenes, helping out behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get them out to actually try to go do the sales or go actually do the sampling out in the front. They've been getting the socials as well. So they're slowly coming into the socials as well. So it's, and like, we're not on socials that much either. So it's really much like a learning experience for all of us at the same time as a family to be doing all of it. So yeah, so from the sales to the Shopify to the conversation that they're hearing us going through all the pickups and the drop-offs and the packaging, like it's all net new and we're all in. Like it's a family affair for sure.
Oh my gosh. We're gauging their comfort level with socials, things like that. Like they're really engaged, like he said, in the background, but we're just following their comfort levels beyond that because obviously like they've got friends, they've got lives, and they, some are more comfortable like with the spotlight than others.
I bet.
Yeah. But they're playing each a strong part in their own ways.
Incredible. Wow. And what a cool journey for them, I'm sure, just to see, their parents in action and what it takes to build a business, to go with an idea and to make it reality in this world where there's a lot of digital stuff, but like to create a physical product, and also see the response on the other end as business continues to grow. So what a cool journey.
Yeah.
So oh my gosh, like it's 2026 right now. We're at the end of July having this conversation right now. So thinking about perhaps activities, events, perhaps things that we should be on the lookout for you guys. Like what's happening? What should we know about?
Oh, so I mean, this has been okay. So it's still our side business, obviously. So, that's really like how much we can handle in a day is how much we've been able to focus on. No, I love CTFA. So I really just see it as like, a lot of fate in my own vision, where it's like we do as much as we can handle right now in a sense. And so I think right now, hydration is at its peak, right? So like we're out there, we're in the heat, we're in tournaments, and that's what we're focusing on. It's like, this is the time to get out there, meet people, get introduced. They will come to us. Like their bodies tell them literally that they probably should come to us because of the electrolyte. And so I think it's the perfect time to start. We've got a lot of activations in Ottawa happening now. We've got a couple of retail stores that have contacted us or we've contacted. That's an interesting discussion because of the category we're in and, where can we find, where do we see ourselves? Where do they see us? So it's all early beginnings. I would say, people have been in this for years and they've got, so much experience. It's been about a year for us in development and then, just a couple of weeks on the ground. So anything can really happen. I would say we already had conversations with a high profile, athlete that, plays for soccer for Team Canada. We've got a little story about that coming, like just things that we didn't anticipate that were really cool. And, you don't know where any of this will land, but I would say much of it is just based on like day to day, like focus on tomorrow, focused on next week, and the rest will fall into place.
Totally.
So
lovely mindset to have for entrepreneur and founders as well. I don't know, Christine, are we at the top of the show? I have a few more questions I want to ask.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just in terms, you touched on hydration and electrolytes. How did you come to that number? Was it working with the formulator? Was it working with your production facility?
Yes. So the numbers that we came up with, we worked on together with a formulator. He's a professional formulator. He's done a lot of formulations for a lot of big brands actually in our industry. So we were lucky to work with him. He, he did a lot of benchmarking. So he actually did look at, obviously adult formulations. He also looked at, we looked at just what was recommended for children, essentially, because, there isn't a lot of data or science that exists right now for children. What we know is that anything under 60 minutes, usually water is fine. So that's not really, and we're sharing that as our story. We're not trying to sell it to you for the first 5 minutes you play a sport, because daily hydration is water and that's enough. This is really about an hour plus. So we've really targeted our focus on, athletes, and Grinta being grit, and you're in it, right? Like you're playing your sport, you're in it for over an hour. And that being like a replenishment. So when you see replenish right, that's what we're talking about. And so much of the numbers that we landed on were just based on what exists in terms of science, benchmarking against some adult products. And I was very careful from a regulatory standpoint to ensure that anything that triggered an over 14 warning was either, lowered or removed entirely. And so we were just very careful with, the ingredients, the balance. And that's what took a lot of time in the beginning, is really like, what formula is still going to be beneficial to them? What are we comfortable giving kids, and what does the science say?
Yeah. Really wise. Really interesting. Also, you mentioned the 14 warning and staying under that threshold as well, and being mindful of that, especially as you're engaging with different age groups and age ranges, is making that applicable and appropriate as possible, which is really good. So it's kind of wild. We're going through this and thinking about perhaps some people that have impacted your journey. If you have anyone you'd like to shout out to that supported along the way.
There's so many. So I would say our family first. Like, the kids have been troopers. Like, they've done, adult things. Like, they are, our oldest son is approaching people, and like, he's not being shy. He's, asking them if they want samples. He's jumping on video. Like, he feels that sense of entrepreneurship. They've put up with, a mom that's been distracted and working really hard in their evenings, sometimes not going to practices or games because I've got to do other things. So I would say definitely our kids. But then also CHFA was very supportive. A lot of people like, Jules and I have been talking about sports nutrition for months. She's an athlete. We've talked about, the formulation a lot, and the whole team has been very supportive. I would say, our graphic designers were parents. The formulator is a parent of sports kids. Like, everyone involved has been phenomenal. All of our ingredients have been supplied from Canadian suppliers. Our co-packer is a CHFA member. We used a Pro Co-Pack in Barrie, our Green Bowl Foods. They were phenomenal. So, like, honestly, I mean, I feel like I don't even do people justice in the thank yous, but LCG Foods, Baron, I don't know if you know Baron and Paul, but they were, they've given a lot of advice, just a lot of people that maybe don't want to be shouted out by name, but, Sanj, a retailer with, Nature Source, he's given his feedback. Just a lot of the board at CHFA has been very supportive. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it's such a great community. I can't, there's so many thank yous. Dave Nelson helped us from the beginning. Like, I can keep going. So
love this. What a community. Like,
I also like leaving people out. Don't ask this question.
The list will continue on. The list will continue on.
The list will continue.
Yeah. But what an amazing community. Like, just being able to be in the community, CHFA community, and how much that has supported along the way. I think that says so much, right? As brands are starting or they're thinking about becoming a brand, just to be able to plug into this community, which is incredible.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Is it time, Laura?
Are we there?
Yeah. We are perhaps there. Is there anything perhaps that we haven't covered that we should absolutely know about before we move into our question from our previous guest?
No, I think, you know what? I would say, if you have any questions at all, we recognize that, youth sports is a community and a culture of its own. Like we have said, every sport has a different culture, but through it all, it's all about volunteers. It's all about coaches, about parents pouring their hearts into their kids and their kids' development. And so like Grinta is really supposed to be able to reflect a lot of that and like bring back such a community event. We've been giving, 20% back, in some cases more, to the organizations that have let us host at their events. And we want to keep giving back to our community. So, we've had a lot of great activations, but I don't think anyone can ignore the fact that all of this is powered by volunteers, by, people that have such a passion for kids. And that's much of what drove us to do extra work and put ourselves out there and really, build this brand, because we're so inspired by those that are, not just in the CHFA and the membership community, but like the parents, the kids, all the influence that's happening outside in sports.
Oh my gosh. This is
so special.
On fire. I'm so excited for you guys. This is really exciting. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for sharing that. And we could definitely hear the passion and the excitement, especially with building something alongside your community as well. So thank you for that. This is part of the program where we like to bring in a question from our previous guest.
Yes.
And then they're going to pass it down to you. So last conversation we had was with Solnol. They're based out of Manitoba. Incredible company. So both Jason Liebert and Dr. Jason Bush. We have two questions.
Yep.
It's a double-decker. Okay. The first question from Jason Liebert is, when you step back and look at nutrition in North America today, what are we making real progress in, and where are we missing the mark?
Okay, I think I can answer that one. Honestly, it's interesting because it was framed as North America. So I think that there's a lot of progress that's been done, in terms of like healthier foods. I mean, obviously working at CHFA, I'm always going to advocate for like the better for you foods, and we try to do that as much as we can. So I think there is a lot of research going on across the board. I think personally, Canada needs to cooperate with other countries in North America. I mean, US has a lot going on. I mean, are we talking to Mexico? Like, we are part of a bigger collective. So personally, I do think with all of the research that's happening on making sure that, people are getting enough protein or enough, nutrition, generally speaking, is a great direction to be headed in. We've got a lot of GLP-1s happening, like very hot topics that are bringing a lot to the surface around, what we should be consuming, how we should be consuming, how our culture has changed. So I think all of those discussions are great and need to happen. But I do feel like we do need to, as Canada, really be involved across North America, because so much flows through the borders. And so you really do need to be aligned with partners. And, we're in full CUSMA discussions and all kinds of political things. But at the end of the day, we just want healthier communities. And that's only going to happen if we work together.
Yeah.
Well said.
Ooh,
well
mic
said.
drop.
Well, mic drop.
Mic drop. All right, and the next. And the next question, which is, this is a heavy one.
This is a heavy question.
Jaspaul, this one's for you. This is for you, Jaspaul.
This is coming from Dr. Jason Bush, the Chief Scientific Officer of Solnol.
Okay.
Because it is a potato co-product from processing. His question is, what is your favorite potato dish?
Poutine.
Oh, nice.
Sonia, are you surprised?
That's my husband's favorite as well. Poutine.
Stop eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been I thought he was going to give an aloo dish or something.
That was a half a second response. That was a very fast response.
He likes poutine.
Yeah.
Okay, time to move to Quebec.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, thank you both so much for your time. It's been such a joy to have this conversation with you both. Where are some of the best ways for people to find you? You mentioned your website earlier.
Our website.
Yeah.
Yes. Website, social. socials, grinta.ca. Yep, you'll find us in your community. If you're around Ottawa, we'll probably be strolling around with our big truck. But yeah, no, online for sure.
Incredible. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This has been a lovely conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And scene.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
We didn't get to say on cam what our question for the next person is.
Oh,
gosh. Okay,
let's back it up. Okay, we can switch it. We got so excited. Okay. Okay, so actually, Laura, do you want to say that? And then now,
Okay, this is the question for the next guest. I'm going to go.
Okay, well,
that's when we're going to start recording.
Okay.
All right, Sonia and Jaspaul, your turn. What is the question for the next guest, not knowing who our next guest is?
Okay, so our question would be, when you started your business, you had all the ideas, all the notions. What is the number one thing that you did not expect in starting your business?
Ooh.
What? Okay. Over to you.
Would you be able to,
what was the number one thing?
what was yours? Would you be willing to share?
What was ours? I would say some friends and family haven't shown up. Yeah. And some, like everyone that's shown up has shown up with a lot of heart, but sometimes you expect some people to show up and they don't, and you have to just take it on the chin, and like everyone's got their reasons, but I think in some cases we didn't expect certain people to not be a part of the journey. That's all.
Fair. Totally fair. Yeah, that's reality.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's tricky, and then you're like, okay, we're still going.
We didn't expect you to ask us. It was just
But thank you for sharing your response though. It's very real.
Yeah.
It's a real situation. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you both again so much for this incredible conversation. We're so excited to follow along on your journey and to cheer you guys on and to try your product. And this is something really unique and also very exciting, and I think timely as well, as parents and children are looking for great options. So congratulations, and we wish you guys
thank you
so much success on this journey.
Thank you.
Bye.